Welcome to beautiful San Marcos. It's nice and sunny, but it's really, really hot. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I watch these on YouTube channel where people tour their home studios and trying out a new microphone on my neck. So let me know what you think of that in the comments. You're on the DISM. That's the Dutchman in San Marcos. Please subscribe and ring the bell. Put comments. I'll read them. So here we go. Um, yeah, it's supposed to be 91 today. Feels pretty warm, not quite 91. So I thought I'd keep it indoors in the air conditioning and actually show you my studio, which is the SR2 recording studio. Originally, it was the SR2 garage recording studio because I had it in the garage. But when Pat moved out, I was able to take the extra bedroom, which is, I'll show you, it's an odd shape, which works out well for a studio. And so here we go. We're going to get everything set up in there and show you around. And hopefully this mic works right. I got it on a wireless mic. Actually, that's what this thing is right here. So we'll go inside and give you a tour of my studio for this week, which will be kind of fun because I got a lot of stuff. You could almost call me a studio hoarder almost because all the gear I have, I actually um, didn't buy directly new. I bought it through Craigslist, through swap meets, all that type of thing. But we'll show you around more of all the details. So let's go inside and see it. Hey, here's where the tour starts. If you see the sign, sorry, we're in Chicago. My daughter got me that for Christmas or my birthday. So this is the entrance to the studio. There's the first shot. And we'll just take you around clockwise. As you can see, there's the desk, keyboard. I've got a keyboard underneath there for a trigger. I got this computer on the desk, which is actually a recording computer. I'm in the process of changing it. Right now it's got Pro Tools on it and Mixcraft. But in order to run Mixcraft, as you can see, I've got parallels on there. See the parallels? In order to run Mixcraft, which isn't a Mac, not a Mac, it won't run in Mac. So I'm running a Mac, which is right down here. See, there's the Mac. And it won't run on that format. So I'm running the parallels to make it a Windows program and a IO program because Pro Tools is running on the IO. So the original Pro Tools was actually Patrick's from school. And so he's not living here anymore. I don't have his key, so I really can't use it. And so running Mixcraft, which I liked as a program, and I had gotten all the updates, was a good recording DAW, but it's gotten to the point where with it running a parallel program on the computer, it slows everything down. So I'm looking at changing. You can see my records here. Let me get the glare out of there. That's a Chess Records with Muddy Waters, an old one. That is a Buddy Guy. That's the actual album cover, signed in 2018. I saw him at in Escondido at the Fine Arts Center. If you go up, I kind of got a semi-cloud over my monitors. Then I've got these Technic speakers kind of angled down up here. As you can see, I took the closet, and that's actually the closet shelf. And so that's a second reference, which I can switch everything through that. The monitor speakers are event, which they're really nice. I really like them. The guitar over here is I got that at the Kobe swap meet, and it actually was a classical guitar, but it had nylon strings on it when I got it. I was actually playing it in the swap meet, and I just liked the way it sounded. There's no tag on the inside, so I don't know what it is, but it's got really nice wood. The headstock looked like it had been re-glued, so I kind of had to weather and I'll put some wood on the headstock to make it look a little better. But it's got a really weird carved nut, and I also put a piece of brass down there when I put the steel strings on it, and changed the machine heads so that they had metal ones, so they wouldn't tear through those classical style ones. So that's one of my many guitars. My little wall of records, and then I've got the old Harmony. I bought that years back. I found that at a resale shop, and it's just old, and it's still holding together. The glue and everything is really good. So if we come down, I got my little desk light, my little desk area, keyboards, like I was saying, mouse, and then I've got a 002 Digitech mixer. That was when Pro Tools was running. So I really don't, it doesn't partner up well with other DAWs, but if somebody's interested, I'll let it go for cheap. I'll even include the stand. The other thing I found, and I found them separately, was this, it's an Easy Bus digital mixer, and it actually, it pairs up nice, Easy Bus, and it's actually by event, as you can see by the display there. So it really pairs up nice with my monitors. It's kind of all in one. So I'm basically going to keep that. That's about all I need. I've got another little guy down underneath there, and then I've got my studio controller for my headphones and everything right there. The little speakers next to the fan are my computer speaker as I use this computer daily. I also do my video editing on this one, and transfer everything over there. So I got several computers, kind of built that little shelf. Love White Castles, as you can see. That was a candle, but there's no more candle in there. But I just like the little, it's a ceramic then kind of mini box of White Castles come in, if you know White Castles. I also have a little pole here with a remote that I can sit and talk with the light, which is kind of nice. So moving along, I've got my cigar box guitar, my actually strict string one. You saw that one when I was busking, and that's where that one hangs. I like my guitars hanging on the wall because I actually play them more. I actually pick them up when I come in here and play them if they're sitting in a case. Oh, and I don't know if you saw it. Hang on just a minute here. I'll pull this out. But my daughter in Chicago became a big fan of Hall and Oates, and I always watched the TV show Live at Daryl's House. I really like that one, and she got me a guitar strap from Live at Daryl's House, so that's pretty cool. I had that when I was busking. You might have seen it. This guitar strap here is all leather. I bought that years back at Burke's Music in Wheaton, and it was actually a couple. I always called. They were kind of older. Uh, his wife, Mrs. Burke, she kind of ran the shop. Her husband was a drummer, and they didn't have too many drums there, but interesting couple. I always had fun going there. It was like walking distance from my house. So that's kind of the history there. Then I got some of these older straps, which I found in some old amps that I was repairing, and it's an Ace, but they're old, so I hung them up. There's another one. I kind of passed by it when I was coming in. There's one right there on the wall, which is kind of cool. So they're not the remakes. They're actually Ace, the original ones. So they're probably collectible. I don't know. I didn't look them up. This was the first cigar box guitar I built. It was I actually paid a little bit of money for the cigar box because it was Hoya de Nicaraguan, and we used to smoke those. We used to go and get them at the Tinderbox in the mall. Me and my buddies Randy, and so we smoked quite a few Hoya de Nicaraguans. The bottle caps on the knobs are actually Leinenkugel's, which is kind of more of a Midwest beer. I think you can still get it out here. Same thing with the bottle band is right there on it. And then the cigar band is up there, the Hoya de Nicaraguan cigar band. Well, making our way around, I showed you that. The poster here is actually Bo Diddley. That was my connection with Bo Diddley. As you can see, it says with monkey striking matches. I ran sound for that band. This was when I lived in Gainesville, and the picture of me and Bo, which you see even on like my Facebook page, that was taken actually at PK Young, the school I worked at, and the Monkey Striking Matches band were kind of his backup band when he did things locally, and actually bass player worked for me, and I actually had his grandsons working for me during the summer at PK Young. So when I'd go over to Bo's house, he'd always call me the boss because I gave his grandsons jobs. He loved that. So it was kind of a neat connection with him. As I go down, I've got my turntable, another present from my daughter, Black Cats, because I was born on the 4th of July. I love fireworks. So that's kind of a cool cover for that. And then we go down here. That's a CD changer that holds 200 CDs. I almost have it filled, but it's really nice because every CD I had is all in there and can be dialed up really quick. The cassette machine needs a belt job, but I got a few cassettes. But just to have that available in the studio to play things back is nice. And so I've got my record collection, as you can see, all the way down. There's actually three row drawers. I'll pull back here a little bit. The section with the little wire racks up on top here is all my blues albums. And then as we move over, the ones where the orange records are at, that's all my jazz records, jazz, and that type of thing. And I've got them all categorized in Discogs. And then everything from here, this starts A through Z. All these down here are all my rock and roll ones. So yeah, I got quite a collection. The stands, they pull out like this, so I can flip through the records. And I actually built these. I originally built the wood part to hold them and to make them like stackable. And then I thought, every time you wanted to look at the bottom one, you had to take it off and it was heavy. So I took those and converted them and built the metal. I like to weld, and so I built these metal racks and then built in the wood pieces with the regular drawer slides to make kind of my own storage units for them, which worked out really nice. the record collection kept on growing. So then I found at the swap meet these old record stands with the wires. So that's why those two are wire. The other two, I just chopped the legs even, or I built those. I built those from another plan I saw of just sittable stands like that because they just sit in here, so you can flip through them. And they're just like that. So I put those on top to extend my collection. I even had so many. I had these drawers that I found. That's on wheels, so it rolls out. Those are the ones sitting in front of it are more ones I need to file in there. Once I put them in the computer and listen to them in the garage, then I put them there. So that's my record collection. So I've got, as you can see right in front, I got Albert Collins, I got B.B. King, John Lee Hooker. So yeah, I have the albums. Then up here is kind of just a memorabilia shelf. I've got some old rhythm instruments. I've got that little film strip my daughter gave. That's actually a piece of the Blues Brothers film, which is kind of cool. Then I've got some pictures of Bo Diddley, and that's a button, and then just other stuff. I was into Jeeps, as people know. I had a blue Jeep, kind of like that. So I got my Jeep collection, just weird little collectibles that you pick up. As you can see, the Jeeps go down there. My son was into Hot Wheels and Matchboxes, collecting them. So he would always hook me up with all the Jeeps. I got all the Jeeps. That blue one I built that's in the box. There's like the old CJ2A. It's way in the box there. That one there is the military one that I had that was a civilian one. So my Jeep collection. That's all the Jeeps I have now. I just see the little ones. So we'd find them all over. The Led Zeppelin album, it's got a little glare, has an 8-track tape in there, and I actually got the 8-track tape at a White Elephant Christmas party, and I wanted it back. I was like, that's Led Zeppelin. And then when I finally found the album, I actually found the cover without albums in it in Goodwill. And so I did that. I do have another one with the records in it. Then I got a ukulele I built out of an old Dutch Master cigar box. The guy in there is my grandfather. And that little medal up there is Coyne Electrical School. That's where my dad graduated for electronics, and he worked at AT&T. And I thought, and my dad played the ukulele, which is this one right here is my dad's old ukulele. He made his own felt picks. That's what that pick is in there. Actually made out of some shipping felt that he found. And then his old pitch pipe right there. It's kind of my, remember, hey, I got a broken string in there. I didn't even know that. I'll have to replace the string. It broke. The weather must have broken. So that was my dad's uke. So this was kind of my memorial one. Every Christmas we'd give my grandfather Dutch Master cigars. And so I thought, when I found the wooden one like this, I thought, what a better way to honor him and show him. In fact, I think he's got a Dutch Master cigar in his mouth in that picture there. So that's the one corner. So we come around the record corner. I got the blinds or windows drawn, but that's kind of right. I got a nice little couch. This actually folds out into a bed if somebody comes over. So we still don't lose the extra room. And the bed, we put that extra mattress right up there on it. But then it also acts as a good kind of a bass trap. As you can see, the angles in here, it's a really high ceiling because that's the top of the closet there. That's a road race I built for Halloween, I take it out. It's all out of foam, so it's lightweight. We take that out, and the kids, it's actually battery powered. They have fun racing it. So that's became a storage area, but it just breaks up the surface because it's foam, and it helps with the sound in here. So I get pretty good sound. Not totally dead, which you don't want, but um, it it works. It works good. So okay, this is kind of the back of the door. I've got hanger cases and cords kind of on a rack there, and then this guitar. Whoop, there's Winky. That's our cat. She always got to be around. She got to watch what I'm doing. So she likes to sleep on that little couch too. So she came in to say hi. So this guitar is a Giannini. I'm glad I got this new pole. See, it's a Giannini classical guitar. My first guitar was a Giannini. Actually, my dad bought it from Montgomery Ward's, and I would, and you can see the signs. It's really nice Brazilian rosewood. Was a Giannini. I'll go on the picture here, and it was actually when I was younger, and I actually worked at the Wheaton Bible Church part time, and I had it in the sanctuary, and I keep it in the back, tucked away, hidden away. But I would practice in the sanctuary. I actually took classical guitar lessons from David Pitts. He was actually a jazz bass player. He used to do Broadway stuff, playing bass, and I took classical guitar lessons from him. Never took jazz guitar lessons from him, but I should have. But so one day I went back there to look for it, and it was gone. Somebody stole it, and that was the last time I saw it. So years later, fast forward, the reason I have this one. So this isn't the original one that I bought. I think this one's a little nicer. So years later, I'm at the Kobe swap meet, and I see Giannini, I see the classical guitar, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta get it. So I forget what I paid, but I haggled the guy a pretty good price. Was reasonable. But then, so that's my old Giannini classical guitar back again. And you can see it's got some guy's name in there. I don't know what kind of makes it more of a story. But beautiful Brazilian rosewood. And it's solid too. So that's my classical guitar with my old pedal. This is a cigar box guitar. I used to hang it in my office. And that's strictly an acoustic one. So anyways, there's Winky checking it out. Is it all good to go? All right. She checked out the cut. I changed things around, so she's got to look around. So here, as we move around the room, the keyboard was actually my mother's. I don't play keyboards, but she's like, oh, get rid of it. But every once in a while, you can pick out a note or two, and so I've hung on to it. She had the keys all marked with those little stickers with the notes. She used to have an organ. In fact, when I was younger, they gave me organ lessons, and so it's kind of more memorable than actually used a lot. Lori's French horn. I got my old school pedal board in that suitcase that I built, and then we moved to this Regal ukulele, another swap meet find, and that's an old one. It really sounds nice, and so I like that one. Then I've got my main guitars. My Blues Hawk I bought in Michigan, and once I played one, I gave lessons in actually Everett, Michigan, for a long time, and saved the money and bought my Blues Hawk. So I love that one. This one here is a combination. of guitars. It has some really nice Stevie Ray Vaughan style pickups built into it, the heavier duty ones for the Strat. So I basically built that one, put all together. You can see I tried a stenciling Stevie Ray on there, which is kind of cool, and blacked it all out. And then I played bass at a church for a while, but this isn't the original bass. This is one I put together now, which is actually jazz bass. I had a precision bass, a Squire Precision. I can't remember what I did with that, if it got stolen or I gave it to somebody. So anyways, so I got another one, and I custom designed the logo on there too. Actually, I had to paint that headstock so the gold would come out better in it, but it's a maple neck, precision style, all blacked out. And so yeah, so that's my bass. I got soundproofing in the corner, a little bit of traps in the corner, as you can see the foam. My pipe collection down there. That little box is one of those little mini amps built into a little cigar box that I made. And there's Elwood. And my other Telecaster is right here. Kind of put that together. I bought the neck separately. Bought a custom pick guard. It's actually the chest record. It's not a chest record, but I found the blue record to make a pick guard, and then I made a copy of that chest record and glued it on there to make it look like it was a blue chest record, but it wasn't. So that's my Telecaster. I gave my other blonde Telecaster away to the youth pastor who always wanted one. And yeah. And then you saw my dad's ukulele with a broken string. I didn't notice that. It must have broke one of these days. So I'll have to restring that. So that's the full tour. Oh, I got a little like coffee table down here. As you can see, guitar player, front of house, Pro Sound. And then I put a little practice amp on a stand underneath the table just for room. That way you can sit on the couch and play electric guitar. And I didn't go over my amps. I got the igniter head, and then that bottom cabinet I built actually when I was in Gainesville. Bob Senick, the guy that was my maintenance guy at PK Young, had a really nice wood shop, so I designed that and put it together so it would slant on there. It's got a 12-inch, and it's a sealed back. It's actually got a little port in it so you can get the bass off the back. And then my busking amp, that little footnote one, that was what I had out in the square when I was busking, if you watch that video. And then the one on top is actually an old sewing machine case. And I love the leather and the oldness of it. So I actually cut that front speaker hole in it. It's nothing you'll ever see. It's one of a kind. And put a small, I'll go on the side here. It's going to kind of get dizzy here. There's a small tube amp that's built right into it. Kind of like a Fender Junior, but not quite. It's mono price or something like that. But that's the amp there. So, and you can still open the back and see the inside. So it's kind of a fun shape. I got that at Kobe Swap Meet. And then my tip jar that I had in another video, and my effects are in that wine case that I built that are all ready to be plugged in. And Lucille, or Winky, we call her Winky, she got hit by a car when she was younger, or when she was pregnant with her kittens. And so one of her teeth sticks out and one of her eyes is kind of damaged, so she only has one good eye. We're not sure if she can see out of the other eye, but so that's the kitty. She's the studio kitty. She's not sure I set that foam up there, so she's still kind of checking that out. So. Anyways, that's the full $50 tour of the studio. I also have a clip that I'll include on here because I run sound at Mission Hills Church, and I took a shot of a Sunday morning of just the desk and kind of in the back, and I'll include that in on there. So that's the studio. So if anybody's interested in that 002, let me know and we can make a deal. I can go pretty cheap because I'm really not using it. And oh yeah, I'm on the computer with Pro Tools, my main one. I'm looking at doing an upgrade and actually just putting a Studio One 5 DAW on it because that runs on IO and IO and Windows. So I'm looking at probably putting that on there, taking the other stuff off so I can speed it up. So alrighty, so there you have it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like this episode if you like it. I can always do more audio and guitar stuff and record stuff. So let me know. Thanks for watching the DISM. Even though it was indoors, we weren't traveling. This is the start of the official of home studio tours. I do know another guy who took my place running sound at another church who said he has his own studio, so maybe I could get a hold of him and we could do a tour of his studio if you would be interested in that. So let me know. Have a great day. Keep cool out there, and we'll see you next week.
Person who doesn't know what jazz is. Like so many people, they have no idea what Jesus is, who he is, what he's like. They've never met him. They've never experienced the real thing. They've heard ideas. They've heard they've heard Kenny G versions of Jesus. Now, if you like Kenny G, again, my apologies. You can write on your connections card. Please do not make fun of Kenny G, and I will write you back and apologize profusely. But for the purposes of my point, please just stick with me here. Terrible versions of Jesus that are easy to reject because they're shallow, they're cheap. And what Sebastian wants me to experience is the real thing. What's really happening? This art form that developed, he says, in a flop house in New Orleans. You could just replace in a manger